So I'm back in the UK now. I very much enjoyed my time in Krakow. This vlog won't be in any specific order. I'll put what I think is the most interesting first, and then, I'll go from there. Some bits will have me talking in the video, some bits will be voiceover, depending on how busy the location was and how noisy it was. Anyway, enjoy. So today, as you can see, I am at the Polish Aviation Museum. There's quite a lot of aircraft here, quite big, quite Soviet. Yeah, so the rules here are crazy. So you could pretty much just walk right up to these planes and helicopters. The only thing you can't touch is the propellers and the engines. For a lot of this stuff I'll probably do post commentary because I don't want to disturb everyone else at the museum, but I'll make sure you see everything, don't you worry. So yes, as I just very poorly explained, the aircraft here are very open, right? The rule is you don't touch, but what they actually mean is please don't climb on the aircraft. There's no ropes, there's no barriers. You can walk up to the aircraft, you can look under them, you can look around them as close as you want, just don't climb on them. So yeah, as I was saying, Soviet planes. I would say more than half the planes there were either Soviet designed and built in Poland, or they were just straight up Russian aircraft. There was some German aircraft mixed in there, and there was a couple of British planes, a couple of French planes, but for the most part it was old starfighter jets. MiG-21 It's quite a lot smaller than its MF variety over there. I assume this is like for interception rather than fighting. We'll send these ones first. Make sure you get the message, and if you don't get the message, we'll send the big one after you. I'm still finding it crazy you could just walk up to these old fighter jets. There was a time in history when... oh, this one's still got some of its engine casing in it. There was a time in history when the US would have killed to walk up to one of these so they could see what it's about. See what it's capable of. And there's this big brother over there. Crazy. This one's quite rusty around the edges though. So I don't think this frame is airworthy. Just a rack of torpedoes out. Over here, hiding in the grass, I've got what we're assuming are anti-aircraft guns. They look like anti-aircraft guns. Let's see. What's this then? It's a howitzer. Ah! Let's see. I think it's just an anything gun. Tank, plane, whatever you want to blow up, you can blow it up. If you got one of these big boys. I bet that made a sound when it went off. What's this little one over here? So it's a light field howitzer. I guess this was for tiny planes and tiny tanks. Sometimes people, if you are really unlucky. So as we make our way past this radar guidance system and its accompanying missiles, we start to move on to the indoor parts of the display. There's a section dedicated to downed planes during the war. There's a section dedicated to archaeological plane finds, but you'll see that in the videos coming up. Some of it's spoken, some of it's not spoken again. Yeah, just sit back for the ride. So the first exhibition we enter, from what I can tell, is it's an exhibition dedicated to World War I and World War II fighter planes that had been left in a state of either disrepair or had been severely battle damaged and left behind. As you can see in these videos, they are definitely not airworthy anymore. They're definitely probably not worth anything. But they're cool to look at. There's history there. There's planes that probably you can't even find anymore. There's planes that are riddled with bullet holes. And you gotta feel sorry for the pilots that were probably in there at the time. Yeah, I'll leave it up to me to finish the rest of the story. So what I can deduce from this place is all of these aircraft were either downed in battle or just left to decay. I'm going to assume some of these are downed in battle. This Messerschmitt definitely looks like it's been attacked at some point. But it's cool that there's just a Messerschmitt 209 just sitting here. Well, what's left of the Messerschmitt, of course. Is there any cockpit in it? I can't get close enough to see. I'll have to dip you in. It's all gone. That's pretty cool though. The entrance to this place is actually a train car from what I would assume is a concentration camp. Some of the planes they've got sitting around here is crazy. Like there's MiG-21s and stuff outside. Obviously you've already seen that at this point, but you can just walk up to them. In the 80s, the US would have killed just to see one in person, and now you can just walk up and touch it. Within reason. But yeah, it's crazy. There's just battle damaged and, well, eroded planes just sitting here. Like this Albatross L101. What's left of it. But it's still pretty cool, no? Especially that Messerschmitt. I've always wanted to see one of those. Hopefully they've got a complete one somewhere. That's crazy. I would say this one's definitely battle damaged. Look at these holes here. That's definitely bullet holes, that is. Not sure if you can see that. We'll flip camera. Yeah, look at that. That's definitely bullet shrapnel. What is this? It's a Halberstadt. This looks like it might be a World War I plane. We can switch it to English? Yes, I can. So it was a fighter escort and support aircraft, so its job was to shoot approaching fighters down before they got into a dogfight. Okay, well this one clearly lost that fight, which is unfortunate. Of course, in battle, they're the enemy, but it was someone's son, he was just doing his job, you know. So it's sad that the pilots of that would have probably died in the crash. I don't know what this is a wing to. It doesn't say what it's a wing to, but it's quite obviously German. It's definitely some kind of fighter, right? The wing's not big enough to be a bomber, especially with those control surfaces. But it doesn't say for that one. Look at this big boy here. What's this? Oh, it's the Henkel HE. Oh my god. Wow. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. It's crazy. It looks a lot smaller when you see it in videos from the past. But there it is. Well, there's what's left of it. Oh wow, it's a room full of airplane engines. That is crazy. Look at the size of some of these radials. Damn. I think I've just seen the biggest turbocharger I've ever seen in my life. Look at the size of the bad boy on here. That's like the size of a car engine on its own. Look at the size of the piping needed just to send it into the cylinders. It's crazy. I bet that thing makes several hundred horsepower just on its own. Damn, 1,500 horsepower. I mean, for the size, yeah. That's a pretty big beast. I don't know how many cylinders it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 16. Damn. That's a lot of cylinders. So this engine right here was for the Argus AS10. It's 240 horsepower, but it's got all its engine exposed. So you can see all the pistons, you can see all the springs, the crank. That's crazy. So much engineering into these small engines. Well, small for a plane. Of course, I imagine more went into this. This is a giant Wright Cyclone. A good old radial engine. It's nice to just have a sit between all these engines. I imagine a lot of these come from serviceable aircraft as well that have seen battle or at some point had attempted battle. It's crazy. Some of these engines are so big. It's insane how they even lift off the ground with all that mass in them. Check this out. This is a jet engine from a MiG-23. What we got here? We got the Iskra Bisbee. I hope I said that correctly. Probably not. But look at this little thing. I mean, you wouldn't be calling it little if it was flying towards you at 600 miles an hour, but, you know, in terms of fighter jets, it's pretty small. Although, I guess it doesn't have any wings. I know. Maybe we can see inside. Oh, no, sorry. It's jet engine exhaust would be, right? So where would the wing be? I guess here, right? This proves I cannot be an aircraft mechanic. Sir, he appears to have put the The wings inside the engine holes. And the engine in the wing holes. Oh no, that's a shame. This museum is crazy. The fact it's free on a Tuesday as well makes it even better. There's just so many cool fighter jets lying around, even inside that room. You know, cool engines, hundreds of engines from planes from World War One all the way up. There's a car coming, hopefully I don't get run over. That'd be so peak before I've even seen the rest of the jets. But yeah, there's just engines everywhere from World War One all the way up to modern day. I've just seen a MiG-23 jet engine. It's probably in the video. I don't know, depends how the video come out. Yeah, it's crazy. I've not paid a penny to be in here. How do they fund it? I don't know. But it's just cool to have so much history lying around, especially some of these jets. So many jets at the time, you know, other countries would have absolutely went on a murdering spree just to get hold of one. And now they're just sitting here, and you can walk up, you can touch it within reason. It says no engines and stuff, no props. Just saying, I'm in the back rooms. I don't even know where I am right now. I don't know what this is going to be. I can't read Polish. I can speak a couple of words, but I can't read it. The Polish language is very interesting. It is easy to say, but it's very difficult to read. I've found it's almost pronounced nothing like it's spelt out. Oh, it seems to be wrecked. It seems to be wrecked planes, I think. We'll flip you around and have a look. Here we go. I assume these crashed into, although, yeah, I assume these just crashed. Yeah, do not touch. I imagine that's tetanus heaven, that is. I assume it's either crashed into some water or it got shot down. I'm going to say it just landed in water and it's just been left here to decay. Hopefully the pilots didn't die in it when it did that. Hopefully they managed to escape. That poor radial engine has seen better days. There's just missile casing just sitting over there on a launch system. Maybe it's actually real. Maybe this is Poland's secret I'm about to reveal. Maybe this is an active missile. So, you know, when shit goes down, psych, it's a real missile. Got you now. Look over here. We got some plain weaponry that was dug up. I hope those bomb casings are not active. Yeah. I mean, they've seen better days. But it's nothing a Polish can't fix, right? Poor engines. Oh, that one's definitely been mangled up. I'd assume that was a pretty heavy crash. If you could dent metal that thick, you know. Bent props. I'm assuming based on that, that looks like it might be some shrapnel. Entry or exit holes. It doesn't look like it's like decayed. It looks like something's punched through it. Isn't it just crazy how much the metal gets eaten away once it's just been left unmaintained? Like, this would have been a pretty big aircraft, I imagine, and that's all that's left after the Earth's eaten it, taken back what it was. Just off to the side of that room, we have all these little bits and bobs that have come off recovered planes. I tried to be as respectful as possible because obviously I imagine at least some of these crashes would have involved deaths. Either through fighting or even just, you know, malfunction. Planes, you know, mess up from time to time, no matter how well engineered they are. It's just laws of probability, right? See, although I feel like this one might have been in a fight because I think there might be a bullet hole up there. So, rip to that pilot and his crew. But yeah, it's kind of hard to talk about this stuff and try and be respectful, you know. That's why I said at the start, a lot of these clips are going to have voiceovers. I think this one might have been in a fight as well. That looks like it might be a bullet hole. That's an entrance hole for sure. Yeah, this one got sprayed by some gunfire, whether it be from the ground or whether it be from another aircraft. Either way, we know it went down. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been under the ground. Look at this big gun. So you see in movies, in war movies, like soldiers picking these up and just spraying them. But like, there's no way. It's a big tyre. Can I touch the tyre? I've touched the tyre. I've come across what appears to be a memorial So I'm going to quickly go over there and pay my respects to those fallen pilots and crew that lost their lives in battle or under unfortunate mechanical circumstances. But yeah, I'm going to go pay my respects. Of course, I will not record that, so use your imagination. There's literally just an insane amount of like fairly modern fighting capable Soviet jets just sitting over there. I'm telling you, this is going to turn out to be a secret Polish airbase, and all these aircraft are actually still worthy. They're like, psych, gotcha, and then they just launch all these aircraft. I think I'm in heaven. At least I hope this is what heaven's like. It's just crazy. There's so many insane aircraft just sitting here. Got a bunch of old MiGs over there. We got what I think is a DC-3. I don't know. I'll go check it out in a second, but I was right. That is a memorial. I paid my respects to those fallen soldiers and their crew. There's no nameplate for this, but I'm pretty certain this is a Mirage. I mean, it's not a Mirage, I can see it. I mean, it's named the Mirage. Yeah, it's always got this little ramjet out there. It's crazy. Just sitting here. I mean, I don't think it's worthy. It's quite rusty. But still, it's nice nonetheless. Shame I can't get up and see the cockpit. It's too high, like the other jets. This is a little bit smaller, but it looks fast. I don't know what it is, but I wouldn't want it flying towards me. I could probably reach up to the cockpit there. Let's have a look. Can we get a view? I'm not sure how much of that you managed to see, but it is what it is. They got the pitot tubes covered up there. Take everything I said back. I think that might be the Mirage over there, so I don't know what this is. Old aircraft are just so much more beautiful than anything that exists now. I mean, don't get me wrong, modern aircraft are beautiful, but there's just something special about these, you know, shiny, glass-fronted, radial engine aircraft. That's timeless. You know, in 100 years, I guarantee people will still walk up this and go, wow, what a plane. She's missing a couple of turbines, but they're called props, mate. It is what it is. You know, I don't even know what this is. There's no plaques out for these outside aircraft. I'm kind of having to guess based on my limited knowledge of old aircraft. We're right by the actual airport. Yeah, what a beauty. What a beautiful machine. Look at this beautiful aircraft. What a machine. It's so shiny and chrome. Old aircraft are just so beautiful, aren't they? Because the size of these radials. You know, probably had flames spitting out the side of these back in the day. Literally just a line of MiGs. There's got to be a dozen here at least. Let's have a look down the engine holes. Yeah, the engine's not in there anymore. I don't think you can see that. Oh my god, there's a bench here. You can literally sit with the MiG-15s. Bumped into a guy. He's over there somewhere. You frequently see it quite a lot. He said back in the day when he was a kid there was no fences around here, and he used to just climb in here after school and sleep under the planes. Imagine that you finish school and you just go for a nap underneath a MiG-15. Crazy. But yeah, let's flip you back around so we can have a look proper. Okay, so this one's definitely not airworthy. That is a substantial amount of rusting to the airframe there. It's a shame I can't get up there to look into the cockpit, but we'll have a sit under the MiG, I think. Have a chill. It's quite sunny, so I need to get out the sun for a second before I die of baking. Yes. The Polish really do know how to make a museum, don't they? I mean, I can literally... There's a bench right here underneath the plane. I'm just chilling underneath a MiG-15. It's just sitting here. I can touch it. It's just sitting there. And over here, just a bunch of MiG-21s sitting out. I think this is possibly one of the most beautiful aircraft I've ever seen in terms of fighter jets. Although there is something really special coming up in a minute. I saw it off in the distance and I can't wait to have a picture with it. And here's the special plane. I've always wanted to see a MiG-29. I flew this plane a lot growing up in like games like Ace Combat and Flight Simulator, things like that. To me, this is the most beautiful fighter jet ever made. Of course, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but to me, it's the most beautiful fighter plane ever made. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my excitement across in the actual videos because there was a group of people hanging around and I didn't want to spoil their fun of also being next to this aircraft. So we could just appreciate the beauty in the videos. The rear end of this MiG-29 is actually a work of art. Look at the lines on that. Such a beautiful fighter jet. Of course, I believe these MiG-29s are still in service. So this one must be maybe damaged from a high-G maneuver or something. Or maybe it's on loan. Who knows? Look at the size of these massive engines. We've got a bunch of very old aircraft here, I'm assuming before the Second World War for sure. This place is amazing. It's just crazy that you can walk up to a MiG-29 and have your picture with it. Insane. Of course, the MiG-29, I think personally, is the most beautiful fighter jet out there. Of course, I might be biased because I have flown it a lot in games, so. But yeah, you can't beat a MiG-29. Unless you blow it up, of course, then you do beat it, but that's just being pedantic. I don't know what we've got here, but it looks like an absolute death trap. Let's see, what is it? The M15. Oh, I think I've seen these in old Soviet footage. Seen better days. It's a cool design, no doubt, but it doesn't look particularly airworthy, the design. It's a cool little aircraft though. The Tupolev Tu-134. I've seen these in footage and I thought it was a lot thicker than this, but it's quite a thin design. This belonged to Polish Airways by the looks of it. Of course, Poland was part of the Soviet communist regime until 1993, I believe, so of course most of their old aircraft are Soviet designed. They wouldn't have allowed any Western aircraft in here. It's actually quite a beautiful plane, you know. Not to side with the Soviets, but you know, say what you want about them, they knew how to make a plane. I'm going to go underneath the Tupolev just for lols. How often do you get to walk underneath an aircraft? Of course, now my luck, this is when the old landing gear collapses and I get crushed by a massive plane. I'm crouched underneath the bottom of a Tu-134 Tupolev right now. I am fucked if the landing gear collapses, but I'm literally just underneath the aircraft, just chilling. Just a bunch of helicopters. They look like varieties of the same base design. Of course, they're not the same helicopters, different specs for them, but the base design looks the same. I guess they change the engine and stuff based on how far it needs to fly. It's funny, the engine canopy is almost as big as the helicopter itself. Oh, it's not focusing, there we go. It's a shame they don't open some of the doors on these so we can have a little look inside. But I guess letting us at least get this close to aircraft is fair enough. You can't do this in most aviation museums, can you? They're usually taped off. But not in Poland. You can walk right up to the beast and have a selfie with it. So cool. Let's have a look at that MiG-29 again. Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Look at her. What a machine. Until it's coming directly at you, then it's not very beautiful as you explode into a million pieces. I think the local police helicopter might actually take off and land from it. It's got a warning about this being a helipad landing site. And there's a police helicopter right in there. I can't see my screen, I've got no idea if I'm putting it here or not, but I should probably stop recording it. I imagine they don't like that. Okay, so they do have a British aircraft here. I know this one is a Harrier jump jet. Everyone knows the Harrier jump jet. What a classic. I believe, I'm probably wrong, but I believe this is the first like proper VTOL jet, which of course stands for vertical takeoff and landing. I might be wrong, but it's certainly the most popular of all the VTOLs. Look at that. These of course change position for when you want to, you know, vertically land. It's crazy that I'm literally standing right next to it. It's insane. Just touching the jump jet. If anyone's ever wondered what the inside of a Harrier jump jet looks like, oh, there you go. Look what I found. It's a Hind D. This gives me Metal Gear Solid flashbacks. Getting annihilated mid-game. You know, it's not as big in person as I thought it would be, but I guess that's because it doesn't have its rotors and its engine exhaust and things on. Will it expose? No, that's a shame. But at least we can get a view of the cockpit. So I think I recognise this helicopter. Isn't this the helicopter they used to dump sand into the Chernobyl reactor? I feel like it is. I don't know, I might be wrong on that, but the design's very similar for sure. Such interesting shapes, these Soviet helicopters. But they did the job, right? That's all that matters. Wow. The rotors on this are huge. I guess it was designed to carry some payloads, because these rotors look way too big for the size of the aircraft itself. So it must have been needed to lift some sort of super heavy payload, maybe a small bomb or something, I don't know. We seem to have a little bunker here. I'm assuming it's not in use anymore because it's overgrown down there, but it's nice to know one exists for the locals, I guess. It's very hot today. I'm not sure if it's coming across on the video, but damn. Here we go. Here's the Mirage. I was close. It's the camo design that was putting me off over there. Here's the beautiful Mirage. Looks like it belonged to the Belgians. Clearly not anymore, unless it's on loan, I guess. But based on the condition of it, I would assume they've just give it to the museum. What a beautiful machine. The police helicopter's out, so I imagine they're going to take off soon. Let's have a flip and see. I wonder if they're going to take off soon. If so, we'll hang around for a minute. They've got a United States Air Force Phantom just chilling here. Look at the size of the missile tube on that. They've got a Bell helicopter. This belongs to Canada. Oh wow, they've got a sop with camel. I think there's only like 5 of these left in the world, isn't there? And just like that, unfortunately, my day at the Polish Aviation Museum was over. I showed you most of the aircraft in this video, but there were still some that I missed off for you. So this place is about 5 kilometers out of the old town from St Florian's Gate. There's a number of buses and trams that will take you there. It's open Tuesday till Sunday, 9 till 5. On Mondays it's closed. On a Tuesday you can get in for free, but if you go on other days it'll be 27 zloty at the current price. Definitely add it to your list of places to go because it's probably one of the best attractions to go to in Krakow. The next morning I decided to take a trip to Wawel Castle. It's just down the other side of Old Town. It was about a 10-minute walk for me from where I stayed. I didn't unfortunately do any talking in the video, so it's going to be voiceover. It was very busy there, lots of people, lots of noise. So my favourite thing about the Wawel Castle is actually the Wawel Dragon at the bottom. So the story with the Wawel Dragon is it was a dragon that used to terrorise the city of Krakow. And to keep it happy and at bay, they would feed it cattle every week. And one day the king's son decided to poison some cattle with sulphur. And then the unlucky dragon ate the sulphur-filled cattle and he exploded everywhere. And that is the tale of the Wawel Dragon. Now the Wawel Castle, I actually didn't look into too much of the history of it. I was too busy looking at its beauty. Quite possibly the most beautiful guard towers I've ever seen in a castle. And the grounds were just stunning, as you can see from these videos that you're going through now. Unfortunately, I only visited the once. I did want to go inside it, but I didn't have time that day because I had other plans. So I just had to look at the exterior. But there's always next time, right? So on the way back, I quickly popped into the Polonia Wax Museum, which is on the main route in Old Town. Now, this wax museum is known for its very sketchy looking wax models, as you will see. I've heard some funny things about these wax figures, like this this Queen Elizabeth, who looks like she might have come back from the dead. He just come back from Turkey, love. So has he. Yeah. So this place has a reputation on the internet for having below decent standard wax figures. Bruce Lee's pretty good, to be fair. Bruce Lee looks alright. There's me. Hello, multiple of me. Everyone's worst nightmare. Of course, it'd be really funny if one of these was actually alive. Robert De Niro looks nothing like him. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Tom Cruise. I'm Tom Cruise. Hi, Tom Cruise. Damn it, of all the people, Mick Jagger got me. He's got you too now. Whew. This is trippy. I've never been in a mirrored hallway before. I think I'm getting the hang of it. In before. Oh god. Oh, this way. This way. I know the way. Oh god, this is trippier than I thought it'd be. I'm about to smack my head off something. Oh no. I'm trapped. Where's the way out? Oh no. Ah. I found it. Oh great, now we're getting dark mirrors. I know for a fact I'm going to end up smacking my face up. That was so close. That was close. Oh god. This is actually scary. I don't know why flies get so messed up now. I survived. Only to be bit by President Trump. Hi. There ain't no way I just turned around and found Osama Bin Laden in a cage. You alright, lad? I thought you'd been done over by the SEALs, mate. There's quite a lot of spent ammo, and I think maybe he did get done over. To be fair, Zelensky looks okay. They've got him decent, but that's because he's a modern figure, you know. Lots of pictures to go off for him, but a lot of these don't even look like the person they're supposed to be representing. His fan's the most accurate thing in here. Do you know, I've just realised something. It's day 2, 3. Day 2. Yeah, it's day 2. I've lost track of time myself. It's day 2 and I haven't showed you the hotel. So this is the door with the world's worst sound dampening material. Trust me, I know. Yeah, if I just take the cover off, that would be great. Right. It's not a particularly big room. We got the TV that only shows one channel. We got a little table here with some towels and shit. It comes with a little fridge, which is nice. The only problem is my bottle of Beppis doesn't fit, but my chocolate bar and my Fuego does. I mean, I could put it on its side, but I don't trust it once it's open. We got this slanted roof, which is forcing me to sleep on that side of the bed, because if I slept on that side, I'd probably get out in the middle of the night and knock myself out. The joys. Ignore the mess on the bed. We got a wardrobe. I'm not going to show you in there because all my clothes are in there. And if we come in here, this is where the poops happen. So, big ass mirror. Got ourselves a little sinky sink. A floating toilet. I hate floating toilets because every time I sit on them, even though they can take it, they're designed to take it, I always feel like they're going to fling off the wall. Hasn't happened yet. There's still time. And then we got a really small shower. I'll tell you what let me see if I can turn it on without covering myself in water. The pressure on the shower head's crazy. Insane pressure. I almost blew my nuts off this morning with that. So, watch me balls. Oh, fuck. Anyway, that is my hyperactive tour of the room. Mula Milch. We need this stuff in the UK. This stuff is banging. I don't know why we don't do it in the UK, because we do have Muller facilities, because Muller's quite a big product in the UK. But for some reason they don't make Mula Milch. That's a shame. I'll have to keep coming back to Poland to get it, won't I? And this Fuego energy drink. This shit is banging as well. I want that in England. Maybe it's at the Polish shops. I don't know. The next stop was Joravi Kochel, or better known as the Leaky Cauldron. Yes, it was a Harry Potter bar located just off the main square in Grodska Street. I wouldn't miss this. This is a fun little bar. It's downstairs in a side alley, but trust me, it's worth it. We're going down into the Harry Potter cafe here in Krakow. Gotta watch my step, it's very dark. That literally translates to the Leaky Cauldron. Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry, dzień dobry. W tym kółeczku, te serduszko.
Teraz też wynajmuję i mam swoją nachowkę i tak dalej, ale... No tak, no to jest inaczej.
A jak jeszcze napiszemy drugą? A jak jeszcze napiszemy drugą? Do którego? Ja znam tylko tego, jedynkę.
Mam pytanie, układacz, no ale dzisiaj jest jeszcze... Potencjalnie chciałabym jechać na takie, bo zostawiłam Uber do Ryzmu, jeszcze wczoraj wieczorem nie wiem, co będzie dalej.
I'm on my way to the old Jewish quarter. Apparently it's in a straight line from the main square, so if I get lost, then you know, berate me in the comments, but I'm almost there, I believe. You'll see. I just went to a Harry Potter bar. It was amazing. You've probably already seen it at this point, so there's no point in me waffling about it. I don't remember opening a cafe here, but there it is. I'm at this antique shop, and they've got some really nice antique cats in the window. I hate to think how much they are. I might go in and ask. They got a rabbit. Quacks. So I arrived in Platz Nove. It's, to be honest, I wasn't that impressed. It's quite high up in the charts of sightseeing on most listings for Krakow, but there wasn't really much to do there. Of course, there's the Jewish quarter where you could look at the old buildings. That was cool, but in terms of shopping and all that, there wasn't really anything there. It was just kind of an empty square. So I'm in the old Jewish quarter. This place is very interesting. There's a lot of random small back streets. There's a lot of rundown buildings. Of course, it's the old section, so I imagine they don't pay much attention to it anymore. There's a taxi coming. No, it's not. Thought the taxi was going to run me over then. These cobblestones are genuinely terrifying. I've almost died about 10 times just walking down this one road. There's huge gaps between them. But yeah, there's a nice old aesthetic to this old Jewish quarter. Of course, it's a little bit run down now, but you know, it's been around since the 13th century, so what do you expect? It's seen a lot of turmoil during World War II. Of course, with all the Jews from here being moved out to camps. Let's take a walk amongst the blobs. Hello, blobs. It's just a field of blobs. Polish pigeon. As I got to the end of the Jewish quarter, I stumbled across a really cool looking bridge, and knowing it would lead to the more civilized part of Krakow and not the touristy bit, I decided to take the bridge anyway. But as you're about to find out, that was a blessing in disguise. I think the trip across the bridge was definitely worth it. Got ourselves a beautiful Gothic church over here. So behind this amazing church, there's the most amazing courtyard I think I've ever seen. Let's take a little wander up. This is what I'm loving about Poland. I've just come out of a really nice church that I found down the back of a random bridge I decided to go down. I walked down the road and there's just some really cool old house just sitting there, vined up. I love this place. At this point I decided it's probably best to get an Uber home before I got too far outside the city centre and miles away from home. Dzień dobry. So on the evening I decided to go to the Torture Museum on the main square. This is a perfect one-to-one recreation of P. Diddy's bedroom. All the equipment in there is graciously on loan from P. Diddy for the duration of his trial. I'm in the Torture Museum at Krakow. A lot of this stuff looks pretty gnarly. Of course, these days people pay good money to use these machines for other reasons, right? And it was nice of P. Diddy to lend them all this equipment, right? I mean, I guess he doesn't need it anymore, does he? That was a little, like, fake violin thing. The violin of disgrace they were made to jingle it in front of everyone. Doesn't sound like that bad of a punishment, to be honest, although you've probably been smacked with things, aren't you?
People in the public place, the public could throw some tomatoes on us, they could punch that person or tickle that person.
So the next stop in this vlog, and possibly my favourite out of all of these trips I've done, is the Wieliczka salt mines. These mines are massive. You have to go with a tour guide, unfortunately you can't do it solo, but it's definitely worth the trip. If you've ever watched Lord of the Rings, it is basically like going to the mines of Moria, except there's no Balrog. So it's quite easy to get to. The 304 bus from the main shopping mall just outside the city walls will take you to Wieliczka in about half an hour. There's also a train that takes about 10-15 minutes from the train station just behind the shopping mall. However you get there, it doesn't matter. Just trust me, go. Now unfortunately, because as I just said, you have to go with a tour guide, I'm in a group of about 36 people here, so all of this vlog is unspoken from now on. I might do a voiceover here and there, but for the most part it's just watching and enjoying the experience that I had. Pretty much everything you're seeing in these videos is made of pure rock salt by miners from the 13th century up until when it closed. Obviously the power cables and the wooden support beams are made of power cables and wooden support beams, but pretty much most of the mine is made of mine. Yeah, it's really cool craftsmanship. A lot of respect for these miners, because not only have they got a hard day, they've then going out of their way to make these beautiful sculptures in their, I guess, break times or when they're a bit bored.
Slaves or prisoners working here. Horses were transported simply hanging from a rope. A system of rope put around horse's belly.
But we have a runner. Here you see great cars.
That's why the most wallflowers, the most beautiful ones, and also quite a few stone stalactites. We actually clean the ceiling here quite frequently. But the most important piece of decoration is
So while this Wieliczka salt mine vlog footage just carries on in the background, I thought I'd talk a little bit about Krakow. So I stayed there for 5 nights. There's quite a lot to do in Krakow. I didn't get to do everything. Of course, I landed on a Sunday, and it's important to know that on Sundays only small businesses are allowed to open. So landing on a Sunday is not advised because you basically lose the day unless you're one of those people that likes to walk around like I do. Yeah, so I missed out on a lot of stuff. I missed out on Auschwitz. I missed out on a whole bunch of stuff in the city centre. All the little bars, all the little like side activities like the Glass Maze, the Lost Souls Alley, all of that kind of thing I missed out on. But I will be going back there because it really is a genuinely nice place. I'm going to take my missus there at some point next year. Take a little bit more money with me so we can experience more things. And of course I'll make another vlog of it to see her reaction to Krakow. But I think it might actually be one of the best places I've ever visited. That'll probably annoy my missus when she watches this because she's paid to take me to a lot of nice places too. But yeah, it was really, really good, and I would really advise going. So I went on this trip at the beginning of October, which is considered the quiet, in quote marks, period for Krakow. It's off season, and it was still pretty busy. So I hate to think how busy it is during the summer. So if you don't like crowds, or you don't like waiting in queues, or you don't like having to barge through people to get to things, I would advise you go towards the latter end of the year. It'll be a little bit colder, but at least you'll be able to actually get into places and you don't have to barge through people.
You can easily see the bottom of the lake. This lake is not natural, it's artificial, and the water here is no longer dangerous for the mine. Here in this chamber you can also see the most beautiful chandelier made with salt crystals, and also the biggest one.
So we're pretty much at the end of the clips now for the Wieliczka salt mine, but in the next clip is a very important message, so make sure you're listening.
Mula milch. Mula milch.
It's my final day in Krakow today, and I think it's a good way to end it by walking around the Barbican. I thought there was someone behind me then. Fucking ghosts. I know people were shorter back then, but were they really this much shorter? Like, especially with the stairs. Like, the stairs are so steep, so if you were shorter back then, imagine how steep they would have been. I'll have to ask my missus, she's pretty short. Oh, she'll know the struggles. Right, Yes, that's the Barbican. Mind your head. I never thought this would happen, but I'm lost in the back rooms of the Bastille. I can just imagine being a 14th, 15th century archer just shooting down out of here. Of course it would be all grass and things, wouldn't it? And cobbles, it wouldn't be roads.
Mula milch.
And just like that, it was the end of my stay in Krakow. I've shown you all the important bits, the mainstays of Krakow. There's a little bit of bits and bobs here and there that I'm going to play after this commentary that you can watch if you choose to. But yeah, I will be coming back here, so if you are from Poland or you visited Poland before, please let me know in the comments what you'd like me to visit, because there is a lot of stuff, and obviously I don't get a chance to look at it all, so some suggestions would be nice, because I want to take the missus there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.